Hey guys, how are y'all? I feel like it's all within my personal space. Chris from Single Dad,
What's up, Chris? How are you?
Mimsy's Garden.
These reminders off, yeah.
Chris, are you doing a garden this year?
Hey, Homesteading, Great Business Life. John Alaska, what's up? Yeah, the swelling is not there anymore. So I've lived off. I had I've taken Benadryl like crazy.
This side is more puffy than that side, but it has gone down tremendously. Yesterday was the funniest though.
Yeah, this started growing, but then all of this right here started getting, so it looked like I had a droopy face.
Well, if you look to the side.
Yeah, right there.
That's where he got stung. I don't know if y'all can see that on the light. So his eye swole shut, and then
it's got a little swelling right here. You can see my eyes a little bit lower. But
yeah, it's not as bad as it was for sure. But anyway, Larry, it started. He come up to the door. He come up to the door. Speaking of the bee sting, he come up to the door and was like, "One got in my suit, got me right here in my face." And then probably 30 minutes to an hour later, he come in the garage and his eye was swollen shut. And then it went from the eye all the way down, and then it started going down from the eye down. So it started here. It's going down like where it started, and it'll eventually go down and get better. But yeah, Colby swells terribly. He's gotten stung before, like on the wrist, and his whole hand would swell up, like turn solid red and just swell up. His leg looked like he got in a fight and lost.
I know, I did
lose. He did get in a fight and he did lose.
What was so crazy is I told Misty I never let her check my suits. Like I just usually just throw it on and go. I was already tired for the day and I needed to check bees, and we just got done. I don't know what we were doing. We were doing something. Anyways, I told her, I said, look, just check over my suit, make sure I don't have any holes, make sure I'm good.
And it's an older suit that had been washed.
Hey, Rebecca Stanley.
It was an older suit that had been washed, and where it zips up, but then it zips around the hood.
Grammy Carrot, what's up?
And I told him, I was like, there's a little spot right here, but I don't think they can get in that when I seal your little flap down. I don't think they'll be able to get in there.
Man, and this is what's crazy is, and I don't know if y'all know anything about bees, but I have 12 hives, and the one on the end is my smallest nuke. It's my newest one of my swarms, I call it. So I said I'll check it first. It's small and kind of get it out of the way, and then I said I just don't want to get stung tonight. I'm gonna smoke them real good tonight. I smoked them, and as soon as I lifted the top, it was just like immediately, and it somehow I got in my suit. I think it had like some kind of like walk through walls kind of thing.
The only place that I could think of when I told him was where the three-way zipped. I couldn't get the zippers going this way all the way together. But I didn't think
they were stealthy, all right.
I didn't think anything about it. I mean, I told him, I said, it's got a tiny little hole right there, but this little flap's going to go down over it, so I think you'll be fine. So that's the only place that I could think of that
they make lemonade from lemons.
One would have gotten in there and got him, and he has just a terrible reaction.
Always remember,
the rest of us get stung and we don't have reactions like that.
If you ever have bees going around, you want to see the bottom side of a bee. You want to see their legs. That means they're on the outside. Well, when they're like this, and you see their
backside,
they're actually backside to you, and their wings,
they're on the inside.
You've got an issue. So this one just went straight in, popped me. I think actually another one got me in here, but that one didn't affect me as much as this one did. It was pretty bad. So I'd say look at the pictures if you haven't seen it. Actually, I was going through town today, and everybody's like, "You're looking a little bit better." So
yeah, well, the people that he works with, I wish I would have taken a picture because he was like two-faced yesterday.
Yeah, she was like, "This is what happens if you gain 50 pounds."
No, I said 100 pounds.
Well, that would be worse.
It was right down. All of this, this whole side of his face was like blown up, and then this other side was normal. So, thank you so much, Dawn. But when he would look from side to side, it was like two-faced from here over, and I got to making jokes, and I was like, if all you have to do is look in the mirror and cover up this side. And if you were 100 pounds heavier, that's what your face would look like, because he was so puffy,
hey, Elizabeth
and
Rogers,
chubby, and his eyes were all squinty.
You call me fat?
No, I was just joking with you.
Rebecca Stanley, we're in Mississippi, South Mississippi.
South Mississippi, yes.
West, the sheep are recovering. We have a video on them coming out tomorrow. Yes. But they're doing extremely well. Yes. Very, very well.
Hated to have to do what we did to save them, but they're not dead.
Phenomenal.
They're great. So,
actually, we just checked on them before we came in here, and doing a phenomenal job. So
yeah, so we're very, very thankful for that, because
thank you, Elizabeth.
We left one night and knew for sure that at least one was going to die. She was so sick. And then a few days later, when we realized that the weather had also gotten sick,
hey, delightful cause,
we thought for sure that he was, and after hearing so many people's stories about how
they're going to die,
their goats were just drop dead, and the roads lost all theirs, and we had several other people say, well, if that is what they have, and they're just not going to make it. So we had kind of already prepared ourselves that they were going to die. So I'm hopeful that we caught it early enough. They've recovered great. They're going to continue to recover great, and we're going to stay on top of gut health. From everything that I've read, things like probiotics, natural immune boosters for them, like oregano. What else was I giving them?
Sage.
Several of the things that are natural, gut healthy, but immune boosters will prevent them from being susceptible. And then when their immunes get down or their guts get unhealthy, it makes them more susceptible. So we're staying on top of that.
Homestead engraving life. Probably not fermenting for them, but they are getting apple cider vinegar in their water.
Yeah, which is a form of fermentation.
That's something we've always done, actually.
Yeah.
Thank you, Granny Karen.
We're just we did what we thought was best, but ultimately, it was just in God's hands, because they still could have died on us. We know for sure that they were that sick, but we're just very thankful that they lived.
Yes, we do oregano oil in their water as well.
Yes.
Hey, Fancy Farmer. We are having a good week. It's been a long week already, but we're having a really good week. So what we were talking about tonight, our garden is explosion. Yeah, I was like this yesterday and the day before, and like that.
It's so funny though how it doesn't matter where he gets stung, he has a reaction and swells up terribly.
I've become the laughing joke with our family. Every time I get stung, they just laugh and point at me. So because I'm always going to swell somewhere.
Granny Karen,
thank you. You don't have to do that. But I do every time, like Missy says, I usually will get stung. I know this sounds stupid. I usually get stung 2 or 3 times every time I go out.
He does.
And it doesn't. It's amazing because 2 of the stings won't affect me. They'll sting, but
it's usually one that will get really, really bad.
Swell terribly. And
but what's so crazy is I think everybody in the family, except for the baby and maybe one of the kids, I don't think Ellie Bell has been stung before.
Yeah, she's been stung.
Have you been stung by a honeybee, Ellie Bell?
Yeah, she has. She's been
or was that a wasp? I think she got stung by
she got stung by a bee. Yeah.
Okay. So she has gotten stung by them 2 times. Sorry. And that's just kind of.
Hey, Organic Raw
Like Sayla got stung yesterday. They like to go to our pool and drink salt water, and a lot of people will, I guess maybe would kind of freak out about that. They will not bother you though, but what happened is she was climbing out of the side and she put her arm up and put it down on the bee, and it stung her on the arm. So that's the only reason that they bothered her.
Elizabeth.
And I hated that, but she did fine. It was like a little ant bite. It swelled up just right, tiny, where it looks like something stung you, and then that was it. She was fine. It went right away.
Elizabeth, acidophilus, we actually have acidophilus in our probiotics. Our probius.
Yeah,
it's the name
like
of
a probiotic.
But that acidophilus is in there. Sorry, I can't get that out. Mississippi. Sorry. Rehab Life, what's up? So tell us about your gardens. What is
what
booming?
Are y'all growing?
I
posed a question today that said, "What's the first thing you picked?"
Yeah,
and several people told me squash, cucumbers were very common.
But I saw a few cool answers on there. I don't have peppers at all yet growing, so I saw somebody say peppers and things like that.
Our pigs will not drink the water of apple cider vinegar.
Will.
Wow.
Ours will do. We put apple cider vinegar, and then we also put Shakeleys in theirs. Actually, we put enough Shakeleys in there it kind of gets like suds, and they love it. Actually, the big one today, he was just getting on it. So
yeah. Here is 2 of the vegetables that we picked today. So a squash and zucchini. We also picked some cucumbers. Go put those back. Carly brought those to me. She said, "Show them, show them."
All right, so Moon Farm, so nothing. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. We have a mud garden. Diana, we did up until a few years ago, and we started doing this deep bed mulch. It's worked excellent.
Look, I'm gonna tell you, and weeding.
A couple really small ground cherries. That was another thing. We don't grow cherries here. We're not big cherry people, and I've heard a lot of people starting to grow ground cherries.
But that is pretty. That's really cool.
I saw someone else. I can't remember who said they were growing ground cherries.
We had watermelon. We picked.
Oh gosh.
What'd that say?
I don't know. I'm trying to get to it. Okay, so
let's see. Had a couple of really small. Okay, you just showed that. It was.
Mimsy picked a giant poblano pepper, some watermelon. Gosh, y'all already got watermelon there.
I just got done flipping. Planting squash so far in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, okay.
That's pretty
ours is all we're blooming right now. Our squash is blooming beautifully.
Well, what is really unique, and I just want to throw this out there real quick, is we planted rows of
awesome fancy
okra, squash, zucchini, and soybeans. The soybeans didn't do so great because we had bad seeds.
So jealous.
But something kept coming in the garden and eating our squash, zucchini, and okra seeds. So I had to take those seeds and start them in the greenhouse. So they're like weeks behind of what's planted. So we have plants out there now that are already putting off blooms and vegetables, and then we have some out there that are like tiny.
It works out perfect.
Once they kind of grow up and play out, we'll have some right behind us. So I thought that was very unique because we've never done that in the garden. We've never done that progressional growing in the garden. We've always done that in raised beds.
Little Feet, our garden's getting really close as well. We actually have 2 or 3 flowering. We took off the scapes today. The garden center opened up. Oh wow! Ours never closed here in Mississippi.
We deem that necessary.
Hey, Mom from Homestead, what's up?
You hear me? We deem that necessary.
Essential. Ours has been
essential. Darlene hopes the rain stops so she can. Y'all are going fast.
Rocking it.
Hope the rain stops so I can get the weeds out.
That's one thing. I'm telling you, we have not had
silage tarps. We have
literally had no weeds. We live in Mississippi, folks, and if you know what Bermuda grass and Bahia grass is, it grows like
give it a minute.
Wildfire. That's actually what we feed our cows. It's not the best quality grass, but that's all we can grow in Mississippi. That grows crazy around here. When we started doing, my hide is still kind of fluffy, right? We started doing the silage tarps and the weed barriers and the deep mulch.
Y'all, I've been trying to tell his.
We have to find the grass.
And I was telling his mom this year because she's always done very traditional gardens. Till it up every year to get the grass out. When you're done, let it grow back up. And I was like, no. You have to get the silage tarp when you get done picking. Chop it down, cover it up. You will not have to till next year. Because there won't be any grass growing because you put a tarp over it and it can't get any sunlight and it ain't gonna grow. So
ain't gonna grow.
No way. So I honestly highly recommend it. Cardboard. I'm putting down cardboard.
And
yes.
Roll paper. If you don't use cardboard, we used a roll paper that did just as good. You could get a little bit thicker than the 3 mil. You can get like the 5 or 6 mil.
I would recommend that. I think the thicker the better.
It's done well. Check your cardboard. We wanted to make sure ours didn't have the glue in between. If it's got glue in between, it is toxic. So be careful when you're using that. Yeah, be careful.
Just make sure that you read what's been put on it, sprayed, any kind of chemicals or anything like that.
We use a biodegradable cardboard.
So highly recommend it on your walkways. If you want to do it around your plants, whatever, any kind of weed bears and and planting those. Highly recommend those. We have seen a dramatic difference in our garden this year. Dramatic difference.
Wow, Menzies Garden, ours is still, we're in Southwest Mississippi, but our Walmart's booming with seeds, which we don't buy our seeds from Walmart, but there's tons there. Just maybe 2 days ago when I had my swollen eye, I had to go get some Benadryl. And so I was like walking through there, and I think they thought I was like the Hunchback of Notre Dame because I was like this the whole time because this side was like swollen up. So people say, like, hey, walking like that, had a hat on because it was bad. When I look at people just stare at me like, what is wrong with that guy?
It's supposed to rain 6 days in a row starting on Saturday. Oh no, trying to get everything in the ground. Well, hey, hopefully if you get it in the ground, hopefully it'll water it good, but hopefully maybe it'll rain a little bit and stop and the sun will pop out. And hopefully if y'all don't know about our Homestead Hangout page, y'all jump on there, post all the pictures you want, your YouTube videos, ask questions, whatever you want to put on there, put on there.
I think the bees kiss me, Chris.
But I had someone make a comment on there the other day that she had so much rain in such a short period of time that she lost 3 of her cucumbers. So I hope that it's at least in some soil that'll drain really well. It'll water them well. They'll grow. Unless the soil doesn't drain, then you might have some root issues. We've
had a lot of rain here, but to be honest with you, for us, our grass has been kind of stagnant. And with us having cow, we need grass. So we've had a lot of rain lately, but it's kind of warmed up, so it's allowed our grass to really kind of kick off. So it's actually really starting to do well.
Needed because we were having to go get more hay,
more supplement hay.
Yeah, and that, of course, that's a cost to the homestead. And when there's free grass out there, you don't have, you move them around from paddock to paddock, and all they do is eat. But when there's not enough grass for all of your cattle, you have to supplement. You have to go buy hay for them.
I saw Ridge Life comment. Ridge Life has come to visit our homestead. How cool is that? So they're coming by. I always want to throw a shout out. I don't see them on here yet, but the Hive and the Homestead came by this last week. They picked up their American Guinea Hog, got to tour our farm, and just had a great time meeting them. If you hadn't checked them out, check them out. That was a lot of fun. Yes. They're great folks.
They have some awesome items online that they sell and ship. They are planning on relocating the Hive and the Homestead. They're not going to be on the main street in their place anymore, but they have some awesome things online that they do too.
So we're glad they came by. We're looking forward to Ridge Life and meeting them in person. So it's always fun when people come by. So
it is.
So I had to throw that out there too, because I want to make sure I mention having the homestead as well. Let's see, grow bags, awesome. We actually did a concept of grow bags this year for lettuce and for cardboard. They did good, but again, we're so used to growing in raised beds and big gardens, we just don't grow as much.
Single dad said 3 foot tall grass due to rain last week.
Send that 3 foot grass here. We'll take it for our cattle.
Or our sheep.
Our sheep is actually in about 3 foot grass.
Yeah, but they're like being picky out there.
Yeah, they're being a little bit more picky. But it's because we're not leaving them on it, but every other day.
Yeah,
so
they're not out there long enough, I guess, to eat it all down. And we are still implementing that.
Yeah, we've been reading about, or I've been reading a lot about plantain lately, trying to
Colby
understand
walked by one the other day, and he was like, "Hey, look, there's one right there." And I was like,
"It grows like crazy here." So we've talked about trying to learn more about it and make a tincture out of it. So
yeah. But anyway, back to the sheep. So we're still implementing, and you talk about a lot of extra time and work. We are still rotating the sheep to fresh ground very, very frequently. Because as they're eating, of course, they're pooping if there's any eggs or egg worms, whatever. We're keeping them on fresh ground because we're trying to be very diligent until they're completely healed, that they're not reinfecting themselves. So,
5 gallon buckets, Ridge Life. Or Rehab Life, excuse me. We grow our tomatoes in 5 gallon buckets. We grew some moringa in 5 gallon buckets. We have lemon and orange that were in 5 gallon buckets. Now they're in 30 gallon buckets. But when we're growing in our greenhouse for winter, we grow in a lot of 5 gallon buckets.
Henry said, "Don't talk to me about grass. Just had side put down."
We're off the porch.
Don't put sod down in mid-May in Texas.
It's funny. We're actually getting tons of rain, so I can't complain. That's one thing we do well here. We have good rain.
I actually pumped me up some fish emulsion today in my little sprayer. And if y'all ever used fish emulsion, you know it's like
Thank you,
this.
Sonny's Place.
And you have to pump it. So I was out there doing it today. I had gotten to I don't know if we've shown them like where the turkeys and the birds
Julie.
are in the videos. Anyway, I was down where the pig pen used to be, and I was spraying tomatoes, and the bottom just randomly fell out. I got soaked, my hair got soaked, everything got soaked. But it kind of rained on and off for like 30 minutes, and then it just went away.
Rehab Life, the plantains we're talking about is more like a weed here. It looks like almost reminds you of crabgrass. That's the plantains we're talking about. They grow and they're like wild, and they only get about that high off the ground. Most people around here would call it a weed, and they'd spray Roundup on it. But we've been trying to learn a lot about it to understand
bugs and
for tinctures,
wild plants. You're welcome, Mom. She come today and we had cucumbers and plums to spare.
That's bad when you lose moringa. Moringa is so important.
Mine's starting to
turn yellow.
I might have to move it back in the greenhouse. I think it might be getting too much rain.
Yeah, I thought so too.
We have several. Oh, but you know what's rocking up in the greenhouse?
Pigeon peas. Those things
I actually have pods on them that are about this long.
I saw that today.
I was like, because I've never grown pigeon peas. Neither one of us have ever grown pigeon peas. So I'm super excited about that. And they're like extremely healthy
for all you Florida people that's in here, you know what pigeon peas are.
Organic Raw Roots Farm. I'm sure she probably does.
We're excited about the pigeon peas because we don't, we just have never grown them.
It's like a native thing to Florida.
Yeah, it has a lot.
Hot and humid.
Yeah, that's right. It's very
like really, really hot. So
Crustalees put on a sting for the plantain. So we're going to try that because we really want to try to do more tinctures and foraging for
wild. I need to give moringa a
try. One thing I'm telling you, you need to, if you're not part of the Max Happy
Sonny's Place.
Wait, Max Hangs Out. What's it called?
I don't know. Hold on. Sonny's Place. I think I have a few extra seeds. If you will get with me after the live, I will double check and I'll get you some in the mail. If I have some extra, I have to check though. I'm not sure. I know I planted some. I thought I had some extra, but I don't know where they went. So I'll have to spot them and make sure that I still have them. But if I do have some left over, I'll be happy to ship you some.
Okay. What's our hangout page called? I can't even remember.
The Max Homestead Hangout.
That page. I've learned, even though we opened it or started the group, I love looking at the comments because I actually learned something today about what one old timer was doing with the way he treated his tomatoes. I thought that's cool. So it's always cool to get on there. And if you're not part of that, please join.
Yeah.
You can join. There's no questions. Just go click our name and we'll accept you. But
yeah,
I learned something every day on there.
Darlene, it's really cool. I love to and people were posting pictures. Everything
absolutely.
From cow. Well, no, was it a cow? Oh, I've seen goats. I've seen all kinds of garden pictures. I've seen all kinds of stuff.
Darlene, this year the farmers market is running late, but we've decided probably to do something a little different. We're going to be selling from our home. We're going to make a home stand, a farm stand here. We have got a great business at our home. So instead of us going out, setting tents up, having 42 kids out there with the Max, because that's about how many we have.
Chasing that baby.
It's hard. So we've decided to sell from home, and we've tried it out this last, even during all this going on. Thank you, Rich Life.
Oh, thank you so much.
Hey, Broussards, how are y'all? Even during this Rona situation in our life, we've had a box out front where people could do an honor box, pick up their goods or their soaps or whatever they're buying from us and leave their money and all. And it's worked out extremely well.
Yeah.
So we're going to probably make it a different kind of farm stand on a different part of our property where people can just pull up, get what they want and leave. And that makes it easier on us, but also easier on the consumer to feel like they're not bombarded with us trying to sell them something.
It'll be at their convenience where we leave it out there all day. They can come in the morning, they can come at lunch, they can come in the afternoon. It's not like anytime. A set time where the farmers market is only on certain days at certain times.
Right.
So we're going to try to make it convenient for them as it's convenient for us too, because I know last year we went and the baby was just walking. He was all over the place.
We did good there. Don't get me wrong.
It's
hard with our children, and
we had a goal to raise a certain amount of money. Now it was work because we had to get everything made, everything loaded up. We had to get there, get our tents, tables, all the products out with all 5 of the kids. And then, we were there half of the day. And of course we're meeting with customers and talking with them, but also trying to entertain our kids. So,
but see,
it was a lot of work, but it was worth it. And we had a goal of what we wanted to do.
And we met that goal.
And we did.
Right.
But it was work. It was not easy. So we're hoping this year to make it a little bit more flexible for us and our customers. So, and a lot of that's going to depend on how the garden does. What, if we continue, like right now, we have 1 million blooms on the cucumbers. So if those all produce and all do well, of course, we'll have those to be able to provide for the community because they're not sprayed. There's no chemicals, fertilizers, insecticides. There's none of that stuff on our products. So
it's been really good.
If we can have that available for our local community, that's what we want at their convenience. So that's kind of our goal this year with the farmers market.
What it also does, it allows us to still work on our farm. So where we were having to take a morning out, and Fridays, our farmers market is Tuesday afternoons and Friday mornings. And that was hard for me because I only get a certain amount of time to really work on our farm. And that took a lot out of us. So
and you have to remember Colby works a full-time job plus all the farming that we do. So I was telling my parents today, for Colby, he's up at 4:30 in the morning milking. He comes in, does the processing, his Bible study, a few things like that, gets dressed, goes to work, works all day, comes home, changes clothes, then we're back outside. We're either in the garden, in the raised beds, we're moving sheep, we're moving pigs, we're moving cows, we're moving turkeys or chickens, and there's something that's got to be done every afternoon. We have missed a lot of lives the past few weeks, and I told him, I said, we have got to just get better about being able to get on other people's lives and be able to talk to them and communicate with them and see what's going on with them, because other than running around sometimes and putting people's channel on just to be able to kind of hear and see what's going on, we were not really laughing jokingly, but kind of. I mean, we have worked almost every single day. It's been almost dark when we get in. In the summer, we can come in. I mean, not in the summer. I'm sorry. In the winter and like fall, we can come in like 5:30, 6 at the latest because it's already dark. But it's like this time because it's so much to do and there's so many chores and we have the opportunity to be outside. We just stay out there and just work. And it usually doesn't get dark till 7 or 7:30, so we're out there working at least until then. And anyway, so y'all know, most of y'all know how it is. So Brazard said, I dream of having a farmer's market in my front yard. You can do it. You can do it. I use a booking app where my egg customers can schedule deliveries once a week. Hey, that's really cool. I drop off eggs at their doorstep, small operation, just working. Hey, that's really cool. I have been collecting a lot of eggs for 4 incubators. So one of the side things that we're trying to implement is sacrificing our eggs to hatch. It's been great for our local community because they want good hens that have been raised up, antibiotic free, vaccinated, not vaccinated, and then they want good layers at a decent price. And there's a lot of great hatcheries out there, but you also have to include the fact that paying for them, but you're paying for shipping, and then they take X amount of days to get here, whatever. So we have kind of found that to be helpful to our farm, but also helpful. Well, I cannot say that tonight. Helpful to our community as well. So we have sacrificed a lot of eggs, probably 40. I think I've got 45 going now that will hatch in the next 19 or 20 in all since I've been hatching since February. So, but I did just add an extra incubator, so I'm super excited about that. I finally sold enough chicks to be able to buy another incubator because that was my thing. I told Colby that I didn't want to feel like we were going in the hole for another incubator just to hatch them out for other people. So I waited and we saved and we waited till we got enough money to fund another incubator. And so 2 weeks ago, I was able to buy a new one, and it got shipped, and I've got it hooked up in stock. So I'm excited about that.
Hey, Rustic Traditions. I don't know if anybody said hey.
Excited about that. I'm trying to catch
what
up
I
on
missed.
the
I'm
comments.
sorry.
I don't know.
Most hatcheries are a year out. I know, you're correct. Actually, we're talking about that. We're actually fixing to butcher our
that was part of the
our
conversation.
Cornish Cross Friday, but we're going to try the Freedom Rangers this next time, just to try something different other than Cornish Cross. And that order would typically for us need to be August, but I don't know if we'll be able to get them or not. Hey, Miss Kathy, how are you?
I think we're probably going to have to place our order like now
to try to just get by the end.
Get by, yeah. So we've been talking about it and discussing it. I really think that's the route that we're going to go this time. I will also have to say that this batch we've been very happy with.
Yeah.
Even though they're Cornish Cross, they look great. They've done great. We haven't walked out and just found any dead. They've grown very well. They've seemed to be very healthy and happy. So we have not had any complaints with these at all.
We bought ours from Purely Poultry this year, or this time, excuse me. The last time was the chick hatchery, but this one I've been very pleased with.
Yeah. Just ordered 60 Cornish Cross.
That's good. Homestead.
Oh wow, the end of July ship date.
Yeah, so we've got to get another order in because ours need to be here. Usually, by what we're trying to plan is August. So
now, is there anybody that's on here doing? See, I'm waiting on this baby. Moon Farm, are you expecting?
Yeah, she's
36 weeks along, still waiting on the baby. So I'm assuming that's getting pretty close. Is there anybody on here that butchers that sells to your community? I think that's going to be part of our goal.
Probably in August.
To not only raise them for ourselves, but try to have a number that congratulations.
Congratulations, Moon Farm.
And I know you're looking forward to getting out of this summer with a delivery. I carried Jennings until August, and that was a fun summer.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's part of our next, I think, goal is to not only raise them for ourselves, but to raise clean, good, healthy birds for our community.
Yeah, we're going to try mid-August for fall broilers too. We actually grew broilers all up until January. We butchered in January because we don't get too cold here. They weathered fine through it, so we were happy with that. But the broilers, I like the broilers. Cornish Cross broilers. But that's fine, Julie. God bless. We're really trying to look for the Freedom Rangers. We had some people tell us that they have raised them.
Hey, Lacey.
So we're going to try to.
We're just talking about your birds.
Yeah. So we're going to try to even keep some, see if they work, and see if we can get them to hatch some. Just to try that.
Yeah. So we're
and we're playing around with the price per bird, and here it's kind of neat because last time we butchered, it took us forever to try to find one person to help us. This time we have about five couples or 5 people.
And what is so cool is
to help and watch.
They want to be here to help, which is great for us, but they want to learn. So we're going to teach them how to butcher. And they'll of course get to take a bird home as a happy for being here to help. But this will teach them how to raise their own birds and how to butcher them. So we're excited about that. We're glad to have the extra helping hands this time.
Definitely.
And we're excited. I'm excited because there's people in our community, even though most of them are women, that want to know how to butcher a bird. I mean, that makes me excited because I'm gonna be honest with you. This time last year.
No, it was January.
No, this time last year, it was before we went to HOA.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I am not gutting no bird. I'm not, which I still didn't gut it, but I was like, I don't want to raise meat birds. They're nasty. It's going to stink. I don't want to have to kill a bird, and I don't want to have to do all that. But it's really not as bad as it seems. And when we went to HOA and watched Joel do one, I thought, we can do this. We can do this. So I'm really excited that people in our community want to do this. So I think I'm most excited about that.
Stacey, come up and join us, or we'll grow you some. We enjoy it. I actually enjoy watching them grow. They grow so fast, and There's something about them. They're just big, white, and fat. They're just cute to me. But we
They
are gonna try.
around.
Yeah, they just waddle around.
And look, Stacey, it's really not as bad as it seems because I'm telling you, I was totally against it.
That's good, Lacey. Ours is Friday too. So.
I was totally against it. I was like, I am not killing a bird. I'm not going to do it. I'm not made for that. And when I watched Joel do it at HOA in Virginia last fall, I was like, this is not really that bad. It's not that bad. I can help. I don't want to kill it and I don't want to gut it. So Colby does that. I was like, but I can help. I can do it. So we had kind of a process going where Aiden would catch it, bring it to Colby. He would put it in the cone and kill it. After it got done bleeding out, I would take it out of the cone, scald it. Me and my sweet friend that come here to help, we would take turns, scald it, and then we would drop it down in the plucker. It only takes like 30 seconds. We would whip that bad boy out. I would take it I would spray, rinse it off again, make sure it was good and clean. And then Colby was back and forth. I got a pocket of air in my throat. And then he would finish cutting it up. I'll pass on the coffee. Cutting it up and gutting it, which is what I did not want to do.
Yes, we do have a plucker. We use the Kitchener plucker. It can house 2 to 3 birds at a time. We usually were doing 1 at a time this last year because I was the only one doing the gutting and the killing, the process kill and the process gut. So we were not, we do 1 at a time so we could stay at a good pace and they wasn't just sitting in the area. They were going pretty quickly. But it can process 2 to 3. The one thing that we're going to try to do, we're going to try to use our plucker for our turkeys in November. So I hope it's big enough to do the 30-pound to 40-pound turkeys.
Well, the Steiners
shown in Alaska,
Grammy Karen, and they have one very similar, which we're not going to let ours get to a full 50 pounds. We're going to do more of a 30 or 45 pound.
I couldn't imagine not doing it without a plucker. Sean, Alaska, we have 2 great videos. We really don't, I hate to just self-promote, but to me, our prepare for chicken butchering and our coop to processing chicken butchering video, I think are 2 great videos. And I think because I watched so many, so what I did is I just took a little bit different spin on some of the things and took a little bit more time on certain details. So
and I think that's the key. We didn't throw the camera up there and was like, this is what we're doing today. We really tried to give details on this is where we didn't, the only thing we did not give much detail about is where to cut on the neck. Because YouTube's like real funny about.
We talked about it, but didn't show.
Real funny about that.
Yeah.
So we kind of skipped that part a little bit. But for the majority of people, I mean, you can kind of, I hate to say. Anyway, that's the only part we really didn't focus on. We went in great details about temperature of the water, how long to keep it in the water, the plucker, we really talked about it. Colby really talked about where to cut on the birds as far as the legs, the head, the cuts to get inside, where you need to rip and pull and what you're pulling out, what you need to look for. What we did with the blood, what we did with, because I took the blood to the compost, we took all the intestines to the pigs, and so we tried to give in detail everything.
See you, Chris.
Yes, we did collect the blood in a 5-gallon bucket.
Miss Kathy, we have some friends who also skin their birds versus plucking. The only thing about skinning is you lose your skin and your fat. One thing we try to learn is the more skin and more fat you keep on, especially if you're selling your birds. I hate to say this, that's the more money you can make because ultimately it adds poundage to your chicken. So if you're looking for,
you're losing.
Now, let me go back. If you're looking for yourself and you're gonna process those birds and actually break them down as you're processing, skinning would be fine. But if you're looking to
a little bit of that flavor too, though, because the
fat on that meat with the skin is what actually gives that good quality taste. Let's see.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris. See you, man. Thank you, Mimsy, for posting that, by the way. Yes, the turkeys, we're excited about that. We're going to try to process not at 50 or 40 pounds, probably 25 to 30 pounds.
Could you just use lipstick on one of the kids to show later?
That's right.
I guess that would have been a good idea.
the skin for us is we like to roast our chickens a lot, so the skin really does help keep the fat in and does really well there too.
And Sonny's place, what we did is when we would put them over into the cones upside down, that's when we would actually make the keel and then let them stay there until they bled out. And under them, we would put 5-gallon buckets under them and let them bleed out there. It's actually not as much blood as you thought. I thought we were going to have like 2 5-gallon buckets full, but it was actually only like this much in the bottom. It's really not as much as you think. But we took it and dumped it in some in the compost. We added some water, put some in the garden.
We keep the feathers, we keep the blood.
And then that's what I was going to say. What fills up the most is when you throw them in the plucker and they're spinning around. You're spraying the bird as they spin around.
Yeah, man. Mom for Homestead, thank you so much, man.
And so the feathers and the water of the pressure of the water is pushing it down into a little hole in the bottom where it doesn't clog up the machine. So we had a 5-gallon bucket sitting under that, and as it filled up, I would walk it across the yard and dump those feathers and that water into our compost as well. So we literally use every piece
all
of the
innards. We don't eat the innards, but the innards went to our pigs.
The chicken feet went to the pigs. The heads went to the pigs. The blood went to the compost in the garden. The feathers went to the compost.
Yeah, Sean and Alaska, it's a great
everything.
Chicken feathers are a great composting nitrogen source as well. So those went to the compost as well.
Yeah. So they break down and everything about that puts the nutrients and stuff back into the compost. So after every time my bucket and the plucker would fill up, I would walk it to the compost and dump it in there.
Yes.
So we're going to be doing all of that Friday.
We're from the South, so skin on chicken is just normal here. So we like skin on chicken too. So. Hey, Howie, what's up, man? How are you doing?
So we are excited about Friday. It's always a little bit mentally to prepare for.
Yeah, I always have to mentally prepare because I'm killing 30 or 40 chickens, and I know people think, oh, you can just do it. It's just like fish, though. You kind of just get to the point where by the end, you're tired of killing something. So it does get tiresome after all day. After I do it, I'm done for a little bit.
And then the last batch, Colby did all of the killing and stuff by himself. This time we will have 2 other men here. One is coming with his wife. So they're coming as a family, and
one
another
wants
one
to truly
is coming.
learn to do it himself. So I hope he wants to learn. Let's just see wants to learn.
So we're excited that I'm most excited that somebody in the community is saying, "Hey, we want to do this. We want to be able to raise our own meat. We want to know how to do it." So I think that's so awesome.
Yeah, and the feathers you don't have to break down anymore. They go straight into the compost because they're pretty much wet and nasty, solidified through all the coming out of the.
Yeah, they'll break down just like anything else will.
So you don't have to do anything else to them.
Our chickens are doing great. They're going to chicken heaven Friday. No, seriously, the ones that we hatched out are doing really good. I hatched 6 ducks. We lost 1 with some of the turkeys when a major storm come through, and we lost power for a few hours. We lost power. We lost the heat lamp.
Hey, Sean,
and even though it was just I think it was like 2.5 hours. When they're that small, they're very, very sensitive. They're very intolerant to cold. So we lost a few. We lost a few turkeys and a duck, but the turkeys are great. They're growing like crazy.
They are growing good. Especially the bronze breasted, they're doing good, and the broad breasted.
The heritage breeds, they can fly though.
Hey, Walker Farm fam, how are you?
So we're trying to figure out what we're gonna do when the bigger.
They fly, but at the same time they come right back.
It's not like they're flying away.
Like the things like chickens. When chickens get out here, they want to pluck and mess up everything. At least the turkeys, when they get out, they just want to stay right. They'll follow me around the yard, and then they'll fly right back to where they're supposed to be. So they don't really bother me as much, especially since they're not like on our back porch using the restroom or stuff like that.
Said I have all the parts for a plucker, just no time.
I'm telling you, I couldn't imagine not having a plucker. I just couldn't imagine. I mean,
not doing at
the amount we're doing. If we're doing like 1
5,
or 2,
6, 7 birds, that would be doable.
Under 10, I think you're fine. But
when you're doing more than that, it's almost impossible.
Definitely, I agree there.
It was a major cost
upfront cost.
Yeah.
Well, it is, but if you think about, for instance, the first time we did it, we had 25 birds, and you're thinking, okay, I spent $800 worth of the scalding pot and this plucker and the kill cones and all. But if you think about it, you got 25 birds at over 3.5, 4 pounds a piece. That's 75, 80 pounds in 6 weeks. That's a lot of meat.
If you bought that in the store,
that's a lot of meat, and it's good
it
quality
would
meat.
cost you almost that.
Yeah.
And the way we kind of looked at it is we thought
understandable.
We had talked about renting one, but we were going to be paying almost.
Yeah, Sonny's place.
Almost.
Go ahead, man.
We would have been paying almost.
Let us know. We'll get you some ring seats.
Yes, let us know. We would have been paying almost the same to our half to rent one as we could have just paid double to buy it, knowing that we were going to do this multiple times. So it was like a cost, but it was an investment at the same time because we knew eventually it was going to pay for itself, which is what we were looking for. So
I agree, Regional Life. We had a friend that has the drill plucker. He liked it a lot compared to just doing it by hand. So it's definitely a great step up. He used 2 drills and 2 drill pluckers. So I can't. The thing about getting a chicken to that size, the Freedom Rangers I've heard can get that size. The Cornish cross, not saying you can't get to a 5-pound bird, but if you let them go too long, they'll get so big they actually have like cardiac arrest. They'll die because they're just not meant to be that big of a bird. Now, if some of y'all can get those birds that big, we can't. The biggest bird we have is probably 4 pounds. Most of ours were 3.5. We even had some that were small. These will be bigger. Yeah,
are going to be closer to 5.
I figured they're going to pound out.
They were healthier. They grew faster. This quality to me was from this hatchery. These birds were way better.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to be closer to averaging 4 to 5 pounds.
I figure we'll be close to 4 because I just looked at them a while ago, and today we'll feed them once more at 7:00 in the morning. That ends it. But
yeah, they'll get fed tomorrow. Colby made them fast for 48 hours last time.
We did our math wrong. This time though, we're feeding them.
So we had fed them like on a Thursday. Yeah, Thursday, and he was like, they can't. I don't remember what it was. They ended up going like 2 days without food, and I was like, those poor chickens.
North Star Prep Steader. It's not that it's the heat, but they just won't last as long. If you let your Cornish cross get to 10, 11, 12, 13 weeks old, they get so big that their legs can't literally hold their bodies up.
And their heart can't support their bodies.
Bigness. So you can, every once in a while, you can get a bigger bird. But just, like around here, we have bad humidity. It might just be our humidity. I don't know. You can't tend to get that big of a bird all the time. And here's another thing too. Because we do high quality food, we don't allow our chickens to eat 24 hours a day. I know people are like, oh my gosh, but we don't.
They only need a 12-hour fast. Yeah.
We do a 24-hour fast.
But the time that we did it, we totally messed up the.
First time we were thinking we were way off on the first ones, but we do a 24-hour.
I don't know, and I don't even know how that happened. When we got out there, and I was like, they weren't even fed yesterday. That's what it was. We didn't feed them the whole day before, so they had not eaten until the day before that. So they had gone. That was like their second day without feed, which we were killing them that day.
Delightful Cottage, you process a 5.5-pound bird after processing. You got a 5.5-pound bird. That's amazing.
That's a really good size, though.
That's huge.
Yeah, that's a really good size.
I don't think I figure our birds weigh that now, as in. Fully feathered and with all the innards, but processing out, I don't think I'll have a 5.5-pound bird.
But we also, like you just said, we don't give them full range access
to
feed.
We don't do
24 hours a day.
We don't.
They would literally eat themselves almost to death. I think if
we try to
do that.
Cornish cross are not really big foragers, so that's why I think we're going to try the Freedom Rangers next time. But they do tend to forage a little bit more, especially when we pull their food back and allow them to kind of just have nothing other than the ground, and they're on fresh grass a lot. So Sharon Brasher, my eye is better. I can actually see out of it. Last night, I couldn't see out of it. Now I got a little bit more eye. So
his face is still pretty puffy over here.
Yeah, it is.
But it's nothing compared to what it was yesterday. Yesterday, he was like Two-Face. And I don't know why I didn't take a picture. But I wish I would have gotten a picture of him because this whole side of this face was like big and puffy. And this one was normal. It was really funny. Well, I'm sure he didn't think it was funny, but we thought it was funny.
On the turkey poults, our poults were more than $9. We paid 13 to 14. So if you're buying $9 poults, that's a pretty good deal. Hey Kim, how are you? We feed twice a day on our. Aiden feeds in the morning, and then I feed in the afternoon. Let's see. We do raise Jersey Giants to Rehab Life. Really, as layers. We talked about doing them as a dual purpose bird.
We have several.
We actually talked about taking 2 or 3 of our old fat hens this time and processing and see how we like the heritage bird, because Misty's big deal is, or our big deal is sustainability on our farm. So we want to be able to provide our own meat, not even buying chicks. Yeah. So that's why we kind of played around with the Freedom Rangers.
That was my biggest thing, is because I wanted not only, dual purpose, I wanted them to be able to be meat birds, but I wanted them to be able to lay eggs for us in a great enough supply that I can hatch them out.
No problem.
And we can have a whole nother batch of meat birds that we raise up, that we've hatched out here on our farm. Because then you're talking about being even more frugal and not having to buy them.
Sean in Alaska, I'm glad you brought that up. Actually, I'm making a video after we butcher to show exactly what I have in these chicks and these birds. Here's the cool thing. I'm going to show you 3 ways. I'm going to show you if you're using conventional feed from a local co-op that uses the cheapest GMO feed, or second option, I'm going to do a non-GMO feed, which is kind of your mid-range. It gives you a better quality feed, a higher quality feed. Sometimes you can buy it at Tractor Supply or another local place that sells non-GMO. And I'm going to give you an organic version of that. So I want to give 3 different breakdowns of how they price. So that way you'll know, okay, if we're getting into 30 birds, this is what these birds cost me per piece. That way you'll have an idea there.
Hey, Kim.
Thanks so much,
You go chat with your husband. Don't worry about us. We're not real cool. We do appreciate you coming on here, but your husband is way more important.
Yes, we're going to do a cost breakdown. I know a lot of people have done that before, but again, ours is going to be a different spin because we're going to do a 3 cost breakdown with conventional chick starter feed, meat bird feed at a local co-op that doesn't have any benefits to it other than just protein.
Because we've looked at all the options.
And then we're going to do a non-GMO option, which is what we did with these birds, and then we're going to do an organic option, so that way you can see those. We're numbers. I am too.
He is. I'm like, what?
Like I know exactly what each animal cost us, what each egg cost us. I love that.
He was giving me the rundown the other day, and I was like,
I know Missy didn't care. I'm like, look, you can't sell those. Those plums should be more than that, or that egg cannot be that cheap.
Yeah, I had several. I just posted a picture of our plums today. I had several people message me about, wanting to come buy some plums from us, and I was like, I'll be happy to go out and pick you guys some. We have a lot. Kobe's like, you're hitting the plums.
I eat about 15 plums a day. I love them. There's the small kind where you just throw them in, pull the seed out. They're phenomenal. I know I get mad at her selling that kind of stuff.
But I thought, all the little bits that we make, it's a little bit here and there, but we put all that back. It helps us cover feeds, costs, things like when we have to go buy $200 worth of sheep medicine, things like that, unexpected. So all the little bits help, but I was telling him, to be able to provide an option for our community where they're getting fresh plums right off the tree with nothing sprayed on them.
Nothing sprayed on them.
They're as natural and organic and beautiful as you can get. I want to be able to do that. So I was thrilled. He wasn't, because he was like, they're getting on my plums.
I love plums. I can't stand eating a plum from a store. It's kind of like tomatoes. I will eat a tomato every day for every meal. I love them, but I don't like them if I'm going to buy them. They're just not that good to me if I buy them in soup.
And that's why I was like, the people that reached out to me, I was like, I will be happy to share some plums with y'all. So anyway, Kim just said she planted a plum tree. It has new leaves. She's so excited she didn't kill it. Ours is 5 or 6 years old, and this is the most it has ever put off.
It's hundreds upon hundreds.
Every limb has plums, like plums all over them. They're beautiful.
And they're so soft. I just can't explain to you how soft they are. They just melt.
But it took us like 5 or 6 years. I mean, it was a long waiting time. You know, those trees have to grow up.
Thank you, Mincy.
Thank you. Those trees have to grow up and mature, and
our fruit's booming right now. I'll be honest with you. We
store-bought tomatoes taste like disappointment.
They do taste like disappointment, and they're hard. Like
no flavor.
Again, when we talk about tomatoes and plums and all those kind of things, because we don't spray ours, and because most people don't when they're fresh, and you get to eat them that fresh, you're not getting the spray like you will at a supermarket. Even organic, they spray on things to hold the outside more preserved. And when you spray them, it makes it that hard rubbery outside. You know, these are so soft. I mean, I love the skin. If you bump
it, it'll break.
It just bust. And that's how I like tomatoes or plums or peaches or any of it. So.
I refuse to eat
a tomato
until I pick my own.
Yes, we're the same way. I'm a huge tomato person. Tomato sandwiches are the best, especially on Misty's homemade bread with her homemade mayonnaise with salt and pepper. It is the best. I could eat my weight in them. But yeah, the chicken comparison. We have not done any
grafting. That's something that we kind of talked about and looked at, but we have not done any grafting.
We watched these graft. Our orange tree is grafted. We learned how it's grafted. We watched a guy, or Misty actually went to the seminar on grafting. So we're trying to learn a little bit more about grafting. To be honest with you, though, right now,
talk a whole lot about it, but you know.
Right now, our fruit was our main thing to try to learn this last 12 months, and we've been blessed. I tell you, our blueberries and plums did good last year, but our blueberries are doing great this year. Our plums are doing awesome. Our peach trees have peaches on them. Our apple trees have apples on them. So we're thrilled.
Yeah, and I think the main thing I took away from
that take them organic raw
pruning was so key to keeping everything healthy. Even when you feel like it's a major sacrifice, but in the long run, it's going to help your plant be healthier and produce more. And that was kind of hard for me. Grafting is hard.
Yeah.
And
is that Becky Walden?
That would probably be the last thing that I tried to do. But
Kim, you can add it through a pelletized form. The best thing to do is put pine straw around the base of your blueberries.
How do you make? Yeah, and also coffee grains.
Coffee grounds does it too. But to be honest with you,
glad you joined us. We're excited. Your husband is coming Friday.
Right, definitely. We use pine straw around our blueberries. We have a pine thicket, and that's one thing that we put around our blueberries, and it adds acidity to your soil.
Yes, and one for sure way to have a failed crop of blueberries is to put it in alkaline soil.
Right.
They thrive off of acidic soil, so that's very important. Is to make sure that the acidity of your soil is good.
Yeah, if you're using pine straw, that's the best. It helps kind of balance it back out, especially if you're liming that soil. Or if you've got rocky soil, you need to get limed or tested. Make sure you're back at pH, and coffee grounds are good, and so is pine straw.
Look, the Cajun Homestead, I just read his comment. I accidentally broke off a new big green stem growing on my orange tree, and I stuck it in some dirt, and I've kept it watered, and that's probably been a week and a half ago, and it's still growing. So I'm like, I hope it won't be a dud. I hope it will actually grow up and produce something. So we'll see. I actually intentionally broke one of the lemon ones off today and replanted it just to see if it would do as good as the orange did. So I'm kind of.
Miss Kathy, thank you for sharing the hangout, guys. If y'all enjoying the hangout, awesome. We love all your postings, and to be honest with you, it keeps me learning stuff as y'all learn stuff too. It's a blast.
I planted my grow berries in the grow bag since I have alkaline soil. Yes, raised beds are good too. Added coffee grounds in the bag. in the bagged soil I bought, and I hope it works.
Make sure that you're in an area that has good pollinators. Plant things for your bees or for your butterflies or bumblebees. Also, make sure you have a cross pollination on your blueberries as well.
Raspberries and blackberries. I could not tell you that for sure. I can tell you that blueberries are 100%.
Blackberries blackberries are wild blackberries here. Dewberries do very well anywhere here. They grow as a hedge. Raspberries, we actually bought raspberries, and that we had like 3 of the raspberries last year, and it died this last winter. We actually have more raspberries on the way, to be honest with you. Some
and thank you, North Star
roots.
Prepsteader, for grabbing that storefront, because I'd totally forgotten about that. But since you guys are on here, we have a lot of people that ask us that either they'll private message us or send us an email and say, hey, what did you say the name of that plucker was? Or, hey, what did you say this was? Or, where did y'all get this from? Or,
thank you, Bagel Egg.
Lots and lots of people have been reaching out to me asking about.
Thanks, Cecilia.
Soap molds, essential oils. I've helped people with chicken fences. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. So thankfully, we were able to
put all our lists together.
Create an Amazon store that has everything
that we use on the farm.
Everything. I mean, I sat down for 2 days, y'all, 2 days, and went through all of our Amazon orders for the past like year and a half. And went back to the store, and you have to type it in, look it up, add it to your store. Then I would go back to the list of stuff that we bought over the year. And I tried to sit down and think, if we did not buy it on Amazon and it was something that we bought locally, I tried to find it on Amazon and add it on there so you guys could see everything from our chicken feeders, the chicken fences, to heat lamps and heat bulbs, incubators. I mean, soap and stuff. When I have had people message me and ask about the different pots and pans that I've used, like when I make things that I've cooked in, I've made sunscreens, I've made hand soaps. I've had tons and tons of people that will either email us or, like I said, private message us and want to know where certain things come from. So it took 2 full days, but I sat down and I got it all done. So you can go on there. It's chickens, cows, gardening, maintenance. It's all broke down for you guys. Where all you have to do is click on it.
And if we put it on there, we're using it personally. It's not stuff that we've tried and didn't like.
Yeah.
Or where you need to try it. It's the pluckers are the bomb. Go help them. It helps us too.
So I hope that you guys will enjoy that. And if you have any questions about any of the products that are on there, just like we pointed, so many of you guys, we would send you the links to stuff we used or whatever. If you have any questions about it, that we'll always feel free to answer those.
Kim,
the milking machine and the little stoppers were major questions that we had too.
Yeah, and we have videos on that milker.
But all of that is in the store. We put all that stuff together for you.
Kim, you're not weird at all. Actually, we have Butcher Friday, and we have several people coming to ours as well. Some of them are actually on the chat. Henry's Honeys, I saw you post something a while ago on that address. Yes, if you bought a self-pollinating, then it's probably been grafted back into itself, and that's why it's self-pollinating. A lot of raspberries are like that, and blackberries.
Wild blueberries at the church. That's awesome. Colby's parents' land, y'all saw us work our beef cattle and finish up the second corral up there. And her back line of property, Colby's mom's and dad's, is loaded with berries. So we're going to
see you later, Howie. Hey, last thing before we go, because we're supposed to go. Belinda, yes, Miss Belinda's coming too.
Yeah, Miss Belinda.
Last thing before we go, please remember this. If you're wanting to know elderberry, they're blooming right now. Look for them. You'll see them, especially in our areas. You'll see the big white flower really coming out now.
Kathy.
So make sure that you are.
And I have videos on them that will show you exactly what to look for.
Yes.
As far as the flowers, the leaves.
Perfect time to look for them in Zone 8B.
May is the time to look for elderberry.
So please start looking for your elderberry. I
actually was talking to a distant relative a few days ago about finding elderberry. So I sent her to our video and said, here it is, guys.
Thank y'all so much for coming on. We're going to get off because Single Dad's coming on, and you need to join him on his live because he is the bomb. So join Chris right after this.
Check out Chris.
Thank y'all so very much. God bless.
Happy homesteading, y'all.
Happy homesteading, y'all.